miracle. We keep having all these problems. How we gonna solve them? Every day it's the same thing. All these unsolved issues, I guess it's official. Here we go again, the same old thing. And I'm tired of you winning like you. So goodbye.
Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is Monday. Yes, it is Monday, July the 22nd, 2024, and today the topic is main character syndrome. Happy Monday, everybody. Yes, happy Monday. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Mine was just fine. Yes, mine was good overall. Highlights from the weekend. Saturday I pretty much just chilled. Since it rained and whatnot, I mean, we did not go to soccer, and soccer ended up being canceled. And I thought about trying to knock out my task of taking photos for Embrace. Yes. Because I still had that on the table to do, but I don't think I did that. I can't remember what I did Saturday, but I don't think it was anything significant outside of doing the juice. Oh, I remember now. Okay. There was some significance to it. So what happened was I was deep in thought about obviously the juice that I had received and the information I was receiving the day before, and I had felt like I had come to some conclusion, and so I talked to my husband about it, and here he come confusing me again. And I was like, oh Lord, no. So I took some time and was like, you know what? I just need to hear from the Lord right now. I just need like to woosah and just hear from the Lord. And so I was listening to the Bible app and, you know, all about Daniel, who I guess had great discernment and things of that nature. I'm like, Lord, I need to build up my discernment. And I was in and out of napping and listening and everything like that. And that helped me to calm down. And I believe I've received at least something in reference to at least you know, maybe some moves to make and some things to try and things of that nature. So I don't be like people that I try to coach, because Lord knows, you know, I done tried to coach some people and it's like you give advice and they'll never want to do the thing. And I felt like I was in that position where I'm being coached and not wanting it to do whatever it is. And so there's ways that I can give, right? There's ways that I can give it a try, you know, and things of that nature. So I'm open to that. I'm not open to doing nothing outside of what I feel like God is leading me to do. So that's still on the table as of right now. And then I feel like I got confirmations about that as well, because I mean, long story short, I mean, I need to give a shout out to Miss Joya. She has been an ongoing supporter of my self-care business, unwindselfcare.com. And so, you know, she ended up placing an order over the weekend. She was very actually intentional about reaching out and saying, hey, you know, I don't see your link, X, Y, and Z. And so I was able to make some updates and send it to her, and she placed an order over the weekend. And even over the weekend, I got hit up about my business. Yes, Miracle Plays got a call from a client that I had some years ago, and they were like how basically they have these fond memories, and there was people that weren't able to experience it, and you know, all these different things. And so ultimately she was trying to, well, I guess she thought we still had a venue, and I was letting her know that we don't have the venue anymore. I can only take private bookings at this moment. But, you know, she spoke blessings over me and the business, and she was like, I'm glad you're still in business and X, Y, and Z. And I even prayed for her because she mentioned some things that she had been going through, losing, I guess, a lot of family members last year and different things of that nature. And so, you know, it felt like confirmation to me to, again, move forward in the things that I have been led to move forward in, give, you know what I mean? You know, give a little grace and also, you know, be open, right, to suggestions and things of that nature, but also, again, be led by the Lord. So I'm still right there at this moment. Actress Miracle Sims is probably going to have a be revamped in some ways based on this and stuff like that, based on the feedback I'm receiving and all these different things. So I know I've been sharing the testimony of what God has done between 2019 and today. And actressmiraclesims.com was always a good reference point for me to share with you guys, to say, hey, look, everything you see on this list is things that God has established in the past few years. Well, apparently, I'm getting the feedback that might be too much, because I got so many things going on. So not that I'm going to give up the endeavors, but I might stop, promoting all of them in one lump like that. So we're going to see what the Lord do about all of that. I'm just letting y'all know that change is coming. At least I'm going to give it a try and see what happens. But yeah, but the testimony is still going to be shared, and the endeavors are still going to be shared. It's just going to be probably shared in a different capacity. But again, we're going to seek the Lord about what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. But anyway, so that was Saturday. It was a lot because I was going through a lot emotionally and whatnot, because it's just frustrating to feel like you're not being understood or heard or things of that nature. But it is what it is. I guess this is something I'm going to talk about in therapy tomorrow, if the Lord's will. But anyway, Saturday, I just wrapped that up. So Sunday was good again. Working at the church, y'all know, elementary coordinator over there at the church. I feel like everything went well. The gatherings went well. I did get a chance to sit in the third gathering and get a word from Pastor Mo. So I feel like that was a good on-time word. The worship was really good and, timely. I feel like the prayers and whatnot that was taking place there, it was all good and whatnot as well. So, my experience at church was pretty good. Since NJ is here, how was your experience at church yesterday, real quick, little guy?
It was good.
Yeah. You could tell the people. I'm asking you to tell the people.
I love it.
He said he loved it, y'all. So yeah, that was good. Then on our way back, came on back home, and rested a little bit, not much, and then ate a little something. And then me and NJ got back on the hustle of doing a photo shoot for Embrace by Miracle Sims. Yes, I know, another hustle, another endeavor. But NJ did a pretty good job. He did a pretty good job of helping mommy again with part 2 of the photo shoot.
And then we're gonna do part 3.
Oh, listen, speak that, Lord. Speak that through my son. We ain't got no more pieces right now, but yeah, hopefully we will be investing in more.
And then we're gonna
maybe we'll invest in something. Oh my goodness. We'll invest in some things that NJ can model, maybe.
And I made it a ship out of trash.
Listen, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Cool.
Okay, we'll talk about that later. Anyway, I just want to give y'all an update what happened yesterday. So that's pretty much what happened yesterday. Let's get into this juice, y'all. Because we gotta go actually learn about NJ's school. Cool. Yes, we're gonna go to an in-person meeting, which is in a few hours. So
how many minutes is that gonna take?
A few hours, and an hour is 60 minutes. So we got a few hours.
That's like 130.
Y'all can do the math on that real quick. I didn't tell you how many hours. I said a few hours. That might be accurate though, to the amount of hours that we got. But anyway, get on up now. Let me focus. So let's talk about this conversation about main character syndrome. NJ has this, you know what I mean? And look, he's just 5 years old. And I know we all may have this idea of main character syndrome. Matter of fact, my husband has been talking about this over the past, I don't know, a few weeks or so. He's been saying it's like, it's so frustrating to him that people have main character syndrome. And I guess thinking about that, as well as thinking about, I listened to the prayer meditation this morning, and I don't know if something that it said got me thinking about main character syndrome, or if it just came into my heart and mind after I listened to it. But it was one of those things. And then also, basically, I ended up seeing a quote this morning that I thought I shared on our Facebook page, but I don't see it anymore. So I don't know what happened to it, but basically there was this quote basically letting us know that that if Christ is not the main inspiration for you and your life and things you're doing, then ultimately that basically you're out of order, basically. And so so with that being said, main character syndrome, let's talk about this definition real quick. It says a term used to describe people who see themselves as the main character of their own lives. So again, I know that we're the common denominator in our own life, man, and it's so easy to feel like, again, you're the main character, right? Obviously, it's your life, and you're like, oh, it's all about me, right? But I mean, at the end of the day, as believers, we have grown, I believe, to understand and know that it's not all about us. It's all about Jesus. Listen, it's cut from the mouths of babes, all right? It's all about Jesus at the end of the day. At least that's the way it should be. According to the Bible, now we're talking about Bible, all right? So again, with that being said, I mean, I know it can be difficult to acknowledge that and live that way and think that, but I mean, we need to challenge ourselves to do so, because I mean, it puts things into perspective to, again, be focused on the Lord versus focusing on your own self and even him humbling himself. That's another thing we're going to talk about in a moment as well. But yeah, friends, it's just very important for us to, again, put things into perspective and understand that we are not the main character of our lives. At least we should not be. Jesus should be that main character. And then we should more so see ourselves as the love interest. And I know I got that word, I think it was last year, that I received that word at the church and whatnot. But I can resonate with it so well that, at the end of the day, again, there's nothing wrong with being the love interest in the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, the one day Christ is constantly pursuing and things of that nature. So again, he's the main character. We're the love interest. And I guess at some point the story is going to continue to unfold. So let me get into some Bible, y'all, because I mean, as you guys can see here that are live with me, even though I know NJ might be having a song in his heart and worship and whatnot, it is being a distraction right now. So let me try to focus and give y'all all the juice. And my apologies for having to stop and say these things. But anywho, here are the verses that stood out to me, y'all. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. I mean, very familiar verse with the Bible, y'all. I'm not saying nothing brand new. At the end of the day, we know that, again, pride goes before destruction. Now, we know that word pride is heavy. It's a heavy word these days, man, because some people celebrate, these things, which is very ironic. It's something to really, really think about. Like, okay, one of the 7 sins we want to be intentional about celebrating, for real. Like, you know what I mean? The quote unquote 7 deadly sins. Now, I'm not saying that's biblical. I'm just saying that is what people say, historically, is what it's called. And then it's this main one that's being celebrated right now. And it's the main one that Satan himself fell from. Pride, right? Trying to uplift himself above God. And so, again, just reiterating what the verse says, pride goes before destruction. And, that's something to keep in mind. It says a haughty spirit before a fall. So again, can we humble ourselves to see that we are not the main character in our story? Can you give Christ that position and humble yourselves to, live life in that way? I mean, we can all ask ourselves that question today. Let me go ahead and get into this next verse. This Philippians 2:3. Do nothing from selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. As I was writing down this verse this morning, I couldn't help but think about, like, at the end of the day, not just saying how hard this can be, but And then obviously, yes, how significant this is and how Jesus did this. Obviously, he cares so much about us that he humbled himself to come down and be in the form of his creation just to make a way for each and every one of us. When he didn't have to do that at the end of the day, he could have just stayed in his glory, and let his creation burn and fall and fail, but instead of doing that, he humbled himself and counted us more significant than him. And then even as he walked right in the human form of Jesus didn't even count himself as equal to the Father, even though he is the Father in flesh and things of that nature. Again, I'm talking about Bible here, y'all. So again, can we do nothing from selfish ambition? Can we do nothing from conceit, but again, in humility, count others more significant than ourselves? There was something else I was going to say, but unfortunately, I'm a little bit distracted right now, so I can't remember. But maybe it'll come to me before the end, but we'll see. The next verse I felt led to write down was Luke 9:23 and 24. It says, "And he said to all, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whosoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it." Again, I don't know if we just think that these are nice suggestions. I don't know what we think about when we hear these things. Why don't we put some action behind, again, the words that we say? We'll say all day long, oh, I believe in the Bible, I believe in Jesus, I'm a Christian, X, Y, and Z. But we haven't even humbled ourselves to God to do his will, be like him, any of the things that we say. And we call him Lord and Savior without doing those things. And, I guess ultimately the juice this morning is to reiterate and remind us that, I'm sorry, friend, that I'm here to tell you that you're not the main character in your life. If you are, then that is a dangerous place to be according to the Bible, because then, like the pastor was talking about yesterday, at the end of your life, if you're depending on you and yourself, then you cannot be saved. But if you depend on Christ, then you can be. And that's ultimately the juice, y'all. Let me give you guys the Bible verse of today, and that's Philippians 2:5. It says, "Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus." Friends, I hope you all enjoyed this juice this morning. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. I pray you guys can go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all tomorrow, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye. And there you go, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, anybody listening to the sound of my voice. Hope that you all are encouraged and inspired. Thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing all those wonderful things. I do need to go ahead and go, but obviously I need to take care of some business as well as a mom, and things of that nature. So I guess I will let you guys go, but thank you so much for listening, watching, subscribing, and sharing. And yeah, man, be on the lookout for tomorrow's juice if the Lord.
But what about this?
Bye-bye.
I want to tell you.